So I have mint in my mouth, so if you see me doing that or something, it's just my mint. So I have 7 books. I'm going to do a book review video. One of the books I didn't like. The other ones were pretty good. I'm going to start out with the 2 probably most boring ones. So I liked reading travel guides. I don't know why. I just like them. And the one travel guide that I like is called the DK Travel Guides. It's Dorling Kindersley or something like that. And this one's about Berlin. And if you know, Berlin is in Germany, you know, where the wall was and the Berlin Wall was and stuff. This is what it looks like. And the one thing that I really didn't know about Berlin was there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of museums. And all the places they talked about, there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 places, and most of them were museums or parks. And I never knew that about Berlin. I thought, you know, I was going to talk more about, I don't know, like World War II stuff like that. But it was a really good book, and I mean, it's a real, like, I mean, I like to read travel guides. I don't know why. It's one of those things that are, like, the weird thing that I read. So this one is the one that I didn't like, and this is called Wuthering Heights. It's by Emily Bronte, and this is a classical literature book. And this is what it looks like. It's basically about this woman who marries or lives with this guy at Wuthering Heights, and like the stuff that they get, the trouble that happens in Wuthering Heights. I really didn't like it. I really didn't get into it. I didn't even finish it because I really didn't get into it, and I really wasn't. Every time I picked up, I'm like, wait, what happened? Because I don't remember. And the weird thing about this book was, like, halfway through the book, there was this weird intermission where they talk about Emily Bronte and the background of this book. And I'm like, well, why wasn't that in the beginning of the book? That's a good place for it. And there was pictures and stuff. So that one I really didn't like. Now, sometimes when I read classical books, I like them. Sometimes I don't. This is one that I really didn't like. So, this one is one that, the rest of them are ones I liked. And this one's called To Catch a Thief. It's by Kate Collins. It's a flower shop mystery. This is number 12 in this series because it has a number 12 on it. And I read these books as I get them. I don't really read them in the order they go in, unless it's like the last book. Then I'll read the last book last in the set. But this is what it looks like, and I like these books because they always have a funny, a punny, P-U-N-N-Y title. And the other one they have here that I read was called Night of the Living Dandelion. That's in one of my book review videos, one of my recent book review videos. And I just like them because they're cool like that. And this is about this woman named Abby Knight. She has a flower shop. And her day starts out good until she hits a cat, or she thinks she hits a cat. And what happens is this rich person's mother died, and she's trying to figure out who killed this woman, why. And she has to find this woman's cat because the woman's cat actually owns, you know, like sometimes people, like rich people or something like that, like leave their stuff to like their animals. Well, that's one of these cases. And she has to find the cat before somebody tries to kill the cat or whatever. So like that. It's a really good book. I really like that series. It's a really good series. This is a series too that I just started reading. I read the Chesapeake Shores books. They're not by the same author or anything. And those ones are on, Chesapeake Shores is on Hallmark Channel, but Cheryl Woods wrote the books for that. This was also on the Hallmark Channel a long time ago, or maybe like a few years ago. It's the Cedar Cove series. And this is about, it's supposed to be kind of like her hometown. None of the people are supposedly supposed to have been about real people in her hometown. This is called 16 Lighthouse Road. This is the first book in the series. And how you know it's the first book in the series is just look at the first number in the series and you'll see, oh, it's 16, the one's first, that's the first book. This is by Debbie Macomber. This is what it looks like, and it's about this small town named Cedar Cove. It's actually kind of like a Navy kind of town because a lot of the women are naval wives. And what happens is it takes place with these 5 or 6 women who are all going through different things. And the one thing that happens in the book, it was about this one woman who, she lost her baby when it was just an infant because it had some kind of heart problem, and her husband wasn't there because he was away, he was shipped somewhere, and she blames him for what happened and everything, so she wants to get a divorce. But instead of getting divorced, they just pretend that they're still married. I mean, they're still married, but they pretend to get a divorce. And what was her name? I can't remember her name. It doesn't say on the back of the book. Oh, Celia. Celia and Ian. And what happens is she's going through the book trying to figure out what to do, and she's trying to come to terms with, like, seeing this other woman whose baby was born at the same time as her baby, and that kid is turning 1. And what happens is Ian gets shipped out to this naval base in the sea, and it gets blown up. And this other wife's husband's on the same ship, or naval base, whatever, and he is missing. And she is distraught because their daughter's having a baby, and she doesn't know where he is. He's missing. And Celia's husband was found, and through that, they become better friends and marriage partners, and they become to love each other again. That book was really good. I only read 2 so far, but one thing I do have to say is there are a lot of female characters in these books, so make sure that when you read it, you don't get confused, because there are a lot of different plot points in the story. This is another mystery series. It's called the Pet Sitter Mystery Series. It's called Howl Deadly, H-O-W-L. I don't know what I was trying to spell. Deadly. It's by Linda O. Johnston, and this is what it looks like. And this book is about this woman who's a lawyer, but she got something happened, and now she does pet sitting instead of being a lawyer. And she was lawyering like on the side, but mostly she does pet sitting more. And it's about this woman named Kendra who ends up working at volunteering at the zoo where these wolf pups were born. And she helps out, she's observing them and stuff, and the mama wolf goes missing. And she has to figure out who took the mama wolf, and they're trying to figure out how to keep these wolf pups alive and stuff. And it's a really good book. Like, the last one I read by her was really obvious who did it, and this one, it wasn't. So that was a really good one. This is the other one. This is 204 Rosewood Lane. This is the second book in the series, the Cedar Cove series. It's by Debbie Macomber again. This is what it looks like. And this one is about the guy who's missing. His name is Dan. And they are trying to figure out what happened to him. The woman, I forget her name, she finds out that he took out this major sum of money, and they think that he was doing cross-country, stuff like that, and she's depressed because she thinks that he's gone and she left him, or he left her forever and didn't want to say anything. And she's trying to figure out that, and her 2 daughters are trying to come to terms. The one is like, oh yeah, like, he's bad, he's a bad guy, and the other one's saying, no, he's good, he would never do that, that must be somebody else they're tracking or whatever, and stuff like that. And it's a really good book. I really like it. The one daughter finds a lover. She's kind of like hesitant to find somebody to love because of the fact that her last boyfriend jilted her at the altar. So yeah, it's a really good book. They are way different from the Chesapeake Shores books. They're not written by the same author, but they are way different. This is another mystery series. It's called The Secrets of the Blue Hill Library. I forget what number this one is in the set. This is called Gone in a Flash. It's by Emily Thomas, and that's a pseudonym. So somebody else writes as Emily Thomas. And this is what it looks like. It's about this woman who lives in a small town. Her name's Anne, and she finds her great aunt's, well, her daughter finds her great aunt's camera. Her great aunt is dead, and her great aunt left this old Victorian house to her and wanted to turn it into a library. So half the bottom floor is a library, and the top half of this old Victorian house is where they actually stay. And they find this picture of her uncle, her dad's father, and he was in Vietnam, and they thought that he died in Vietnam because somebody said that he died, and they never brought it up again. But here they found this picture a while after the Vietnam War was ended of him and Aunt Edie, and Annie tries to figure out what really happened to him and if he's still alive and stuff like that. It was a really good book. I really like these books because when you read them, well, when you get the whole set, they all are different colors. Like this one's blue, and there's like green, yellow, orange. They are really good books. I really like the covers of them. They're hardback books, and the chapters are like medium length. They're not short. They're not very long, and I just like them because of that. Because I feel like if you're just starting out to read, you're transitioning from like young adult books to like adult books or something, this book is like, this series is a good series to read. So that's all the books I have for this book review video. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.